practice starting, I guess, what would you say are going to be the key focuses as you guys get ready for the season through these practices?
Yeah, I think the guys have had a great summer, great fall. For the most part, we're healthy. We're a little nicked up, but not bad. So we've gotten through all of that, and this is the deepest team we've had. We're deep at every position. I think we're more athletic this year, which was an off-season focus of ours. And now it's just about we've had that experience. I think the guys know how close they were, and that last 2 weeks kind of has been inside of them all year long, all summer long, and now it's just, can we make that next step? Because they really responded off of a bad year the year before in a really big way. So it's really about taking that next step. And with that, you got to get tougher. You got to have a different mindset to do that. And I think our guys they're in the progress of doing that. They're not anywhere near that yet, but they're working towards it.
What would you say the next step for the program and this team is?
Well, I think it's fighting for that championship. We were a week away. If we win at Wyoming and we win against UNLV, we tie for a championship. I mean, it was that simple. Those 2 losses cost us a league title, and it was our last 2 games. So I think that's our next step, is to compete for that championship and get a taste of it again, like we coming down the stretch, and now can we finish it? And then hopefully that's the next step. Not easy. This is a big-time league. It's a tough league. We had some good breaks last year, but we made some breaks, and we did that with being really beat up. We were injured a lot, and the next man up did a really good job last year. Hopefully we're not as injured this year, and we can get in a really good rhythm, a good rotation, and just learn from like last year's last couple of weeks.
You mentioned the end of the season. I mean, on the whole, it was a very successful season, but how do you feel like those last couple of weeks will drive this team or drove?
Well, it was just hard because we had no experience. Other than Jared, he's the only one that had any experience and won the tournament. But even Jared at Oregon State didn't compete for a league title. So none of our guys had been in the stretch run, and that's what we were trying to help them with. Now they've been in it. They've been in a stretch run. They saw what San Diego State was able to do with an old, experienced team, and that doesn't mean we're going to be in the national title game. That'd be nice. I hope that's what happens, but that's hard. That's not easy to do, but we're that close. We split with San Diego State last year. We were basically 2 games removed, which was our last 2 games from tying them for a championship. So the guys have just got to learn that you're that close, and yet you can be that far. You can actually be farther than what you think. I don't think we are. And I think these guys have had a great mindset all summer, very similar to what we had last summer. Coming off a bad year, they didn't accept that, and they worked. And this summer, they continued that work, not because they were coming off a bad year, but because they were coming off a year that they knew they were that close. And when you're that close, I think you understand some of the little things you've got to do to take that next step.
You mentioned depth, Coach. When it comes to that, do you prefer or do you like more or excites more the front court versus the back court when it comes to the depth?
To our depth?
Yeah.
I think right now we're deep at every position. So we're deep, whatever you want to call them, 1 through 5 or back court, front court. We're deep, and we haven't been that deep. We've had years where we've had really 1 big or 2 bigs. Last year we had 2 centers, and KJ got hurt 4 games in, and now Nick Davidson's our backup center, and we'd like to play him at big guard some, and we weren't able to do that last year. Now we can swing Nick to where he can obviously play center because he's had a year of it, but he can also play his big guard, and you still have Jariah and Jazz who can play the center position. So we're just much deeper, and Jazz and Jariah are younger players that they need to continue to get reps, and we've got some older guys in front of them that can help them do that. And I think that's why this is going to be a big year of them growing so they can really assist us right here in this year. And then you go to the backcourt, we've got pretty much our entire backcourt back. And so I think that's crucial, but I like our young players. I like our new additions to our backcourt. So we're a little bit more athletic, and we're deeper in all those positions, and now we got to hope that Hunter, I love how he came back and did everything he could, but he was out way too long, and now he's healthy. So just having some healthy guys that were out last year, I think, is going to help us, and I really like the newcomers of what I've seen.
You guys had played as freshmen quite a bit last year. You've got a few freshmen on this year's team. Any of those in particular you feel like are ready to play more immediately, either because of position or just because of where they are in their development?
Yeah, I think what's good is with Jazz and Tyler and Amir, these are 3 really good freshmen. I mean, we're very excited about these 3 freshmen. And they're on a veteran team, and so they've got to be patient. They've got to learn. Each of them have a learning curve that they got to go through that some of the older guys have already been through. But I have always played freshman. I played freshman my whole career, so these three are going to get a lot of opportunities in practice to just work up that ladder. And I think their future is bright. What their role is going to be, I think that's got to play out here in October.
When you look at point guard, obviously, I don't think it was the plan to play Keenan there, but it ended up working out pretty well. I guess, how do you see that position sorting out? Do you feel like he stays there just because he did so well there?
Oh, yeah. We had 3 practices last year, and practice 4 was when we moved him to point guard. And Coach Neal was talking about that, how that was the best decision that was made all season long because he was phenomenal. And but I think this year, because of our depth, we can use Keenan off the ball some too, which is going to be a positive thing. We weren't able to do that, so I think that was hard on him. I think he got a little tired late in the year just because of everything that's asked out of a point guard, and he's still going to be that leader. He's still going to be the guy that is our point guard, but we can also put him off the ball and change our look a little bit, and I think that'll be exciting for us.
You lose a couple of front court players to transfer, but it seems like you guys emphasize defense on the players you brought in. I guess, is that the biggest area where this team can get to defensively to take that next step?
Yeah, I think with KJ and Nick being a year older, Nick's gained 30 pounds since he got on campus, and I think he's ready for a really good season. I thought he had a really solid year last year. KJ had a great start to the season and got hurt and never played again. These two, I think, are ready for breakout years, and then you add Jariah and Jazz and Tylen Pope. These 3 guys are, one, they're athletic. Tylen is a big-time rebounder, which I think we're going to need, but I also think our guards will be better rebounders this year as well. So we've got good size in the backcourt, and our front court is very big. So size shouldn't be an issue. It's just really learning our schemes and learning how we want to guard and how we want to do things. But on paper, we're longer, we're stronger, we're bigger, and we should be a better defensive team.
Tylen in particular, I guess, what do you envision his role? He's not the biggest guy, but is power forward his best fit?
Yeah, he's just very explosive. He's somebody that he's going to be a big guard for us, and he's just extremely explosive. He plays above the rim, can really drive the basketball. I love his physicality, and I think because of what he's done in the past, rebounding-wise, he fills that void that we lost with some of the guys that left that can really help our board play.
Experience-wise, this is the most experienced team certainly here at Nevada that you've
Right.
had. I guess, how would you compare it to your previous teams at previous stops?
That's hard because I've been doing it so long, so it's hard to remember all the teams. But definitely, this is the team that we've been building towards. These are our guys, and they've grown in our program. They've seen a lot of things. Some of these guys have come through COVID, which is not easy. So they've come through COVID years. They came through a bad year, and then they came through a really good year last year. So I always like it when I get guys that have tasted all of it, and they learn through losing or they learn through a tough stretch of what winning is all about and what it takes. And I think this team is as good as we've had to start a season, and we couldn't be more excited about this year and about this season with this group of guys, because I think this team's poised for it, but we got to stay healthy and we got to keep getting better.
We got one more question. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Not all these guys will maybe get to play in the new arena, but what was their reaction when that news broke?
Really haven't even talked to them about it. We gave them Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday off, so this is the first time we've gotten together, and our first meeting wasn't about what's going to be 3 years ago or from now. It's about now and what we got to do. So I'm sure they're excited about it and excited about the future, but there's not going to be too many of them that'll be opening up that arena.